All right, so you want to know how to do business God's way, right? Not your way, but God's way. And there's many steps to this, and there's many different like things that you can look at, but here's are some of the ones that I took in order to do business the way God intended, all right? Number 1, you got to make sure your order is correct. Like, I mean, the way you structure your level of importance, right? So, when you're talking about, being with family or being married, some people put their like wife and then their kids, or maybe sometimes their kids and then their wife, or, vice versa, husband or spouse, and then they got their job in there. But where does God fit in all that? Where did God fit at all? So if you don't have your order right, how in the world are you going to have a business that leads with God? God has to be the number one thing that's on your mind when it comes to how you push forward your business, right? And so you may think like, oh man, everyone's got a business that's successful. People are doing business the way they want to, but when you do it God's way, it's pleasing to the Lord. That's all that should matter. If God is not pleased with your business, what are you doing this business for? For instance, I'll tell you, there is a time, there are plenty of times where I get asked to do business with other people, right? I'm a videographer on the side, so I kind of do some stuff for people. But however, I do not do work that is morally not for God. Like, so if rappers hit me up talking about, hey man, I'm in Atlanta, I want to do a video. I'm like, cool, let me hear one of your songs. It's got nothing but cussing and talking about, killing people or hoes or whatever. I'm not doing it. And I've had plenty of people be mad at that. Plenty of people be upset just because how I lead my business. And I'm talking about people on the phone like, you ain't about the bag? You ain't about the bag? No, it's not about the bag for me. If the bag comes, God will give it to me. But I have to prove to God that I can handle a business from Him first. So that's number 1. Make sure your order is right. Number 2, make sure you know that all the money that you got is not even yours. It's not yours in any way. That money that you make every single day, like every check that I get from my job, my 9 to 5, and my side hustles, none of it's mine. It's God's. So once you recognize that you own nothing and it's all God's, how could you not recognize that I need to go to my leader, my master, my creator, the person that's of highest importance to me first, to understand, okay, like this, how do I delegate this money? Because it's not mine, it's yours. So how do you want me to push it? Sure, I gotta take care of my bills. That comes in part of it. Like I gotta take care of my family. I pay for doctor's bills. I pay for doctor's notes, or I pay for extracurricular activities for my family. But I also make sure that the money that I make, I understand it's not mine, and God is blessing me with it. So what am I going to do with it? Number 3, praying. People sleep on this one, man. I'm telling you, people sleep on it. And I don't know why that everyone decides that, oh, I'm gonna pray one time and that's gonna be it. And God's gonna be in favor of my business, and we're doing so well. And so that means God's touching it and everything. No, it does not mean God is touching it. You can have a successful business and God be nowhere present in it. We see it every day, literally. Like, look at all the top 500 companies in the world, or like 550 companies in the world. There's no God present in there, but they're making trillions, billions of dollars. But that's not what the purpose is on this one. It's not for you to make $1 billion, $1 million. If you can, not saying you got to go broke, because God does want you to be successful. But when you recognize that with prayer, when you pray to God and say, God, help me with my business, help me understand. I pray that you lead people to my business that help me push it forward. Because now I've shown you I'm responsible enough to use the money that you have given me. Now you're going to give me more. Help me delegate. Help me find a team. I'm praying. I'm on my knees. I'm asking you for help. So it's required of you to pray. You need to pray. Literally pray. Okay? The next one. This one's tough. All right? And hear me out. I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings or anything like that. Who you have on your team in your business, if they're not leading their own hearts with God, that could be a problem. Not saying it always is, because people have, godly business and someone doesn't believe in God and they bring them on and they're doing well because they know what to do in the job. But sometimes what it can is they can start to make decisions for your business without recognizing that it wouldn't be pleasing to God, that God wouldn't be happy with it. And when I say not pleasing, I'm not saying, oh, like you made food and you gave it to people and you made a check or you made, $8 off of feeding someone a sandwich. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Or having a cook on the side. I'm talking about things like when you're in a moment, like I have a podcast. When I do my podcast and I sit on the side and I talk to this person, and sometimes some of these moments can get a little intense and people can get angry and people can get frustrated. And it's not on me to just, oh, well, any other podcast is going to be like, we're going to post the crazy part, like, because it's going to go viral. It's not always about going viral. That's not what this is about. That's not what business is about making everything go viral. Sometimes it's just about teaching the message or pushing forward God through your business. So if I'm posting something about someone getting mad and flipping furniture in my podcast, which has never happened, thank God. But if it happens, I'm not going to post that. They were at a weak point at that moment. But my teammate who's focused on posting content and making reels and TikToks and all kind of stuff like that, they might think, well, this is perfect. What's the problem? It's going to make you money. Your team that you have is so important, right? So important. You got to make sure that when you delegate these tasks to people, that they understand where your heart is and how you lead with your heart. Seems a little tough. I know some of you guys got friends that are like, come on, man, I want to be part of your podcast, or I want to be part of your business. I want to be part of your food truck. This is your baby. Remember that. This is your baby. No one cares about your business like you do and God. That's it. That's the only two people that care that much. Everybody else, they just want to get paid. So remember that. This next thing I want to focus on is to my younger people who are starting businesses, because the younger generation is starting businesses like crazy. I mean, obviously people hate the 9-to-5s. People hate working for somebody else. And I understand. I work for my 9-to-5, but I hope one day I get out of that, and be gracious and happy for that. But what I will say is sometimes it may stop you because you rock with God in your business. Some of you may feel like, man, like this God narrative is not helping me make money, or no one cares about me loving God. They're going to think I'm a hypocrite. They're going to think I'm this. And you're young. So they're also thinking that you're young and you don't know nothing, right? But here, let me tell you something, right? And this is one of my favorite scriptures of all time. Might be my favorite scripture because I remember when I was so young. But the scripture is 1 Timothy 4:12. The scripture is, don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example for the believers in life, in love, in faith, and in purity, right? So when you do that, when you set that example early, people are going to recognize that later down the road. They might not see it right now. Stop focusing on the fast track. The fast track is not your friend. It's all about making that good pace for the marathon, not the sprint, the marathon. And once you get that all in order, God, I promise you, God is blessing you slowly, but you gotta recognize it. He is pleased with you, because at the end of the day, where do you want to end up? I know I'm starting to sound a little preachy, but like, where do you want to end up? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to end up with your business? Because for me, I'll tell you what I want to do with my business, and this is just for me, right? I want to take every single dollar that I make. Once I pay my bills and I tithe, it's going to other people that need it. To the church that needs money to go build wells in Africa. To the family down the street from me whose lights went off because they can't afford the bill no more. Let me pay 6 months of your bill real quick so you don't have to worry about it. Be a blessing to somebody else. It's not always about you. And everyone, I'm not saying you can't reinvest in your business and focus on pushing that business up. That's a good part of it too. And you'll recognize by prayer and by talking to God when you need to push forward and help. How much money goes to helping others? How much money goes to pushing forward the business? How much money goes to paying the people that you have? It's going to be real. And here's one last thing I want to talk to you about, right? And this is for all the people that have ever heard this, is money is the root of all evil, right? Money is, you don't want money. Money is the root of all evil. It's going to harm you. It's going to hurt you. You know, if you love money, you know, you're not of God. Or you could be that person that's like, well, I don't want a lot of money. I don't want to be a millionaire because, money is the root of all evil. That is not what the scripture says in any way. What the Bible does say is, for the love of money is the root of all evil. For the love of it. So that's why we talked about the order. If money is higher than God, you need to check your heart. If the bag is bigger than what would please God, you need to check your heart. Because your business sure can succeed. The enemy can let your business succeed because they know it's pulling you further away from God. They know it's not helping you go closer to God. But think about this. There's so many people that dislike Dave Ramsey, right? And I know I'm bringing up a person, but Dave Ramsey is a believer of Christ, right? Focuses business on the fact that, he leads his business with God, right? Millionaire, millions of dollars, right? But hear me out. He focuses on biblical principles to his business, like not being in debt. I know there's some other people that believe you can have debt. I hear you, because you can leverage debt, but hear me out. The Bible even talks about not having debt. So if you know what the word says about business, why would you do something different? Sure, it's going to be hard. Business is already hard. Business is difficult, right? But choose your hard, because it could be hard now, but you choose to, I'm going to do it my way. Cool. And it leads you further to God. Then when you pass, you left something on earth, which is great for your family, but you didn't even leave the fact or the principles of God, right? That could be the greatest thing that you leave on earth, right? Or you could follow God, leave something for your family on earth, and also the principles of God. When you in heaven and you looking down, you like, my family did it. And God is looking at you like, no, you did it. Thank you. Or thank you for being such a good servant. Don't you want to hear that? Business is already hard, right? But focus on what God says. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy. It's tough. You know how much money I've turned down? You know how much money I have turned down from people because they want me to do something videography wise? And I'm like, I just can't, man. It's not pleasing to God. We're talking about over like $50,000 within the last year, right? It's a lot of money, but it's not always about money. If you guys enjoyed these kind of conversations about how to do things God's way, go ahead and like the video and subscribe. I appreciate you watching it. If you made it all the way to the end, hey, high five, boom. I appreciate it. We cool now, right? But I got many more to come. I'm trying to post, like I said, every single day. So check it out, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Oh, and stay blessed.